What is up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to Filling in the Gaps. I am Flojo, and today we are just going to be hanging out. Something light, something chill. How's everybody doing today? What's up? I don't even think we have anybody here today. What's up, everybody? Who's here? What's up, everybody? How's it going? We're gonna wait for some people to show up, if people show up. Ruby for Justice, how's it going? Welcome. Storm. Sarah, I see you. Hello. Good evening. Happy Sunday. How's it going, everybody? It's a super chill Sunday. Let me switch this view. I don't really like this view. There you go. Something like that. Looks a little bit better. Gamer for Nintendo. Welcome. Go Digger. How's it going? David is way guilty. It's Monday there already? Oh my lord. I'm good. Ruby, thank you for asking. Everything is good. Everything is great. Heather, y'all were talking about me? What? In the Discord? It's going down in the Discord, y'all. Mama Flo just set up a new game on the Discord, and she's been having the time of her life with it. Oh shoot, that's right, huh? It's Monday. Happy Monday. Gold Digger, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Well, besides the fact that I can't do laundry, you guys, I'm so pissed. I was doing laundry and I came out to check on it like 30 minutes later, and I found that it was just leaking outside all over the place. So I had to call my landlord to come, schedule a time to fix it. But thank God I still have scrubs clean, because otherwise I'd have to call off of work tomorrow. I should have just called off of work, huh? But yeah, the washer is down at the moment, and I don't feel like going to, wet clothes, right? Definitely not fun. Heather, you didn't know that? Yeah, Mama Flo. Up, Sydney. You can never, ever have enough scrubs. You are right, Storm. You are right. But I'm poor. I'm broke. I can't afford figs like everybody else does, Be fashionable in nursing. I'm good with my Amazon scrubs. We're good with that. Dang, we have a low turnout today, but it's okay. I got you guys, and that's what matters. Yeah, I'm doing good. Sid, what's up, Sid? Don't mind Nightbot. Nightbot's in the house just flirting with you guys. No way. 50? 1100? Okay. Yeah, honestly, I don't really care, because sometimes I don't even wear scrubs. But I do need to figure out my washer situation so I can. So we can. Do we go back in time? I hope so. Going back in time is good, if you ask me. I know, Nightbot's just flirting with you guys. So if you want, you can flirt back. But anyways, kind of wanted to talk about this whole DNA wars, right? Because it's now become a topic of conversation. We're going to be watching some people's favorites. I know some people aren't a big fan of this person, but we're going to be watching Ashley Banfield's video because it was a great topic. They talked about the DNA and the whole reason behind why Pima County decided to send it off to a private company instead of sending it to Quantico. And to be honest with you, I don't think that sending it off to a private lab was a bad idea. No, Obsidian, no, they didn't send any more. They didn't send more, but there's been a topic, and Ashley Banfield put out a video on the whole debate between, why why it was a good idea to send it. And they had a great guest on. So we're going to be kind of talking about that a little bit. But we'll see. I have a video that I want to show you guys, a really quick clip from Surviving the Survivor with Joel Waldman. This was a... What's up, Yoshi? I know. It was a good idea, right? There is a very good reason why. No, absolutely, right? And Yoshi's having fun over here. Are you good? I think Yoshi's like found his voice because he's never been a barking dog, and now this weekend he's just been barking up a storm. You're still blocked, Storm? Damn. I'm sorry. But yeah, you guys, we are entering what is this? So we're on day 57. Tomorrow will be day 58. And it's almost the end of March. We're entering April, you guys. Oh, Obsidian, you're not a fan? She's from Winnipeg? Yikes. Y'all Canadians need to get along. Y'all need to get along. So the whole debate between whether or not sending the DNA samples to Quantico or sending it to a private lab in Florida has kind of been a topic of discussion. Obviously, it's been a topic of discussion since it's happened. But I do want to take us back to a clip. And I don't know if anybody here watches Surviving the Survivor, but Joel Waldman had a great guest on who was talking about one of the reasons why. I want you guys to hear one of these reasons because honestly, I had no reason, or I had no idea as to why they decided to send it to a private lab, besides the fact that they wanted to keep all of their evidence kind of together, right, in one place. And I was talking to Chloe earlier, and she had mentioned something about, the cost of it, and sending it to the FBI, obviously, would have been paid for through the taxpayers, and sending it privately would have been, coughing up a lot of money for it. And, they decided to go spend a few bucks. So here, let me go ahead and share this with you guys. I want you guys to take a listen to this because I thought it was pretty interesting.
Fully understanding, and now I do, and that makes a lot more sense. Now,
and say that glove belongs to that guy on the porch.
Yeah, and that's what I wasn't fully understanding, and now I do, and that makes a lot more sense. Now, Mac, to you, they're basically saying that the DNA could come back essentially any hour or any minute. Mm-hmm. What is going on behind the scenes? I mean, we know there's some sort of peeing match between the feds and Pima, and they're sending it to a lab in Florida. Should it, in your opinion, be going to the FBI lab in Quantico? But what does this mean? It should be back in any hour. What is?
And mind you guys, this episode right here is not a new one. Okay, I think this was literally on like day 13. Okay, so this is not new. This was just an old episode that I watched, and because the whole topic of the DNA has come up again, I thought it'd be good to share this with you guys.
What does that mean for the public?
The biggest clue that I got is the FBI put out a statement, and in that statement, they already said it was male DNA. So they're talking to you already. I think they already know. I think today they're setting up for the press conference tomorrow.
Which never came, right? We know that press conference never came, so it is what it is.
I think they're going to be able to say, and this is my guess, that they're going to say the DNA on that glove matched DNA on the broken camera pieces or something. They're going to be able to say this glove belonged to that scene. And now if he is or is not in CODIS, we're going to go toward ancestry. I think they're going to tell us the step by step. I think they played their hand because you remember when they put the tarps up and they said, we're going to come and tell y'all something in an hour. And then nobody talked to us at all.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't do that here. They just told us something they didn't have to tell us. So here's my 2 cents about the private lab. It absolutely should have gone to a private lab because of time. If there's a chance Nancy Guthrie is alive, we can't wait 3 months for something to come back. Labs at the state level and even the FBI lab cannot do what these private labs can do in 24 hours. And let me just break it down real quick.
Yeah.
Y'all, back in the day, we had to have about 1,300 cells to get a profile. Othram today needs 7. 7. And they can turn it around just like that. We saw them do it with Coburger. They got that done in a day, and it was Thanksgiving.
How many cells did you say it used to be?
1,300.
Whoa, and now it's 7. Wow. Okay.
7. And it used to be it would take 6 months. I mean, usually, y'all, when we sent something off for DNA, we just...
That's crazy, you guys. 1,300 cells back in the days is what they used to need, right? Molly Wood, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome back to the Inner Circle. How's it going, Molly Wood? Oh, no worries, no worries. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But 1,300 cells, you guys, versus 7. That's a huge step in technology, right? Oh, is Dan here? What up, Dan? What's up, Dan? How's it going? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
It would take 6 months. I mean, usually, y'all, when we sent something off for DNA, we just almost forgot about it and kept working, you know, the boots on the ground, old school, just pencil and paper. We don't have to do that anymore. And I think that's why you haven't seen the Guthrie family. I think that's why they haven't done a joint press conference. They're waiting. And I think tomorrow is the day.
And so by that, we've learned that tomorrow came and tomorrow went, and that never actually happened. So Ashley Banfield put out a video. I don't know when she put this out. Maybe it was yesterday, the day before. And she had a guest coming on here to talk about this whole ordeal. So we're going to go ahead and get right into that.
Dead serious. I'm Ashley Banfield. Thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to been using and proves that the stuff they've been telling me is accurate since day one. And so
she's gonna brag, she's gonna boast a little bit, talk about how all of her sources were correct, right?
The news today,
she's wearing a flannel. She's wearing the flannel, y'all.
Savannah dropped is interesting. It has to do with when she's getting back to the Today Show and how she feels about it. I also have news that I've learned from my sources. I've spoken to a couple of them today. And one of the fascinating things that I've learned is that the DNA lab in Deerfield Beach, Florida, it's called DNA International. Please don't, shit on them because they're...
Oh, by the way, you guys, sorry, I do apologize. If you guys are on the vertical live, you guys do have the option to come to the landscape live. So if you don't like your view, click on my profile, click on live, and then choose between the two, because there's 2 streaming. We're also streaming on Twitch and streaming on Kick. So you can find us on Twitch and Kick, Flojo TV. So if you guys are on there, go follow.
They're great. Like everything I've heard from people in the industry, DNA industry, and the forensics industry, have all said that this is this lab is
celebrating 2 months as a member. Thank you for supporting the channel.
It's the shit, man. It is no joke. And that they have solved some incredible crimes in the past. And we've even done work on it on our prior episodes, talking about the particular cold cases that they've been able to solve. So everybody who knows DNA has great things to say about DNA International in Deerfield Beach. What I've learned is that that lab has agreed to do a rush job for the Pima County Sheriff's Department with regard to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. So that's great. Right? Because this is a big case. All eyes are on it. 400 agents were working on it. That's not the case now. But
what's up,
what they're working with, from what we understand, is a partial DNA sample of male DNA that is not familiar to Nancy Guthrie or her circle, but was found inside her house. Do we know that it's the guy? No one's saying that. All they're saying is that they found this DNA. They won't say what it is. Like they won't say if it's one of those really rich kinds of samples, which is, blood, semen, saliva, those kinds of things. It's just male DNA. And who knows if it's the male, the one we're looking for.
Speaking of male DNA, when was it? On Friday, I was talking to Chloe and I was telling her that I was going to do my due diligence and do my research and study up on some of the cases. And I finally sat down and spent the time researching the Idaho 4 case. And so that's definitely something that I will be, discussing on some of the lives. Obviously, I'm a few years late and have a lot of catch up to do, but I will say, my Lord, that case was crazy, right? And so, yeah, I've watched a ton of documentaries and a ton of videos this entire weekend. So if I wasn't If I wasn't on live, it's because I was doing my research on this. And I don't know, maybe I'll have Dan from the Drunk Turkey Show come on up and do a panel with me, because I know that he's been talking about this case since the beginning. But yeah, I definitely think that I have a ton of questions too, right? So I think it's worth us, doing a show on this. What do you guys think? Type 1 if you guys think that we should cover that, or just kind of talk about it during a live.
The suspect. It would be so much more optimistic about this if we knew it was the suspect. If we knew it was the suspect, we just need to know who he is. I would be more optimistic. But we may get all the way down this road only to discover it's somebody who was in her house before and should have been there, So anyway, what else I have discovered about DNA Labs International, and this is from my law enforcement source.
All right, Dan, that's awesome. We definitely have to plan it, because I spent all weekend watching as much as I could about that case. And man, my mind was blown.
On the Guthrie case. They're using high-tech methods like DNA technology that wasn't even supposed to roll out until next year. So they're pulling out all the stops for the Guthrie case. Anybody who's had criticism about Nanos using this lab and should have used the FBI lab at Quantico, I don't think it's founded. I think this is a smart move. And I'm not, me, I'm pretty critical of the sheriff and some of the dumbass things that have been done in this investigation and the stuff he said that doesn't match with other stuff he said, or going back on his word and changing his story. But this move, I don't think was such a bad move, sharing, lab, sharing the gloves, et cetera, with this lab in Deerfield Beach. Now we're hearing that they're really, pulling out all stops and using next level DNA technology. So I called Cece Moore about this because she knows everything about DNA. Cece Moore is head of Parabon Nano Labs, and she's a genealogy expert, DNA expert. She's basically just the encyclopedia of all things DNA. I've interviewed her before.
Well, we'll definitely be talking about that, Obsidian. I've heard about some of the few things. And I heard that there's a possibility that he might get moved out of Idaho. Whoa. Y'all think that he should? Think they should move him out of Idaho?
In past episodes, we'll link it in a great episode she did with me about partial DNA and the genetic genealogy, how it works, how you get to the person when you just have a tiny little partial or crappy sample, as in Coburger, right? Idaho, they had a partial little sample. They were able to deal with it. Scientifically, they were able to extrapolate what it meant, who it meant, and through genetic genealogy, get to their man. So in this case, it seems like there's a partial sample. And but whatever is wrong with it, the sheriff had said it's mixed. That's not always the problem. And lots of
He's a vegan, you guys. He's a vegan. He wants his vegan food.
rape cases, the DNA is always mixed. But there's something about it that makes this a difficult case. And Cece's going to weigh in with, because I'm talking like a moron, but Cece's going to weigh in with her information and what it all means. In just a moment, so don't go anywhere. You have to hear this. But also just the news about Savannah. It's finally been decided when she's going to be back on television. The announcement is that she's going to take the chair on the Today Show a week this Monday, April 6th. I think that's going to be really big because she is just not feeling like her, and we completely understand it. You can see it in her interview, right? And actually, she talked about what it's going to be like for her, like how she's going to manage this, what she's going to be able to do, who she's going to be. Here's how she explained it to Hoda Kotb in her interview.
I've been so grateful to have this family. I consider this my family, my greater family. And when times are hard, you want to be with your family. And I want to be with my family. And so I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'll belong anymore. But I would like to try. I would like to try.
I think we all want to rally behind her. and help her and support her in the horror that she's been through, that her family's been through. This is not easy. None of this has been easy. And this next step of hers, going public in front of millions and trying to sort of put on a brave face every day.
You know, after her interviews came out, the internet has been quite a buzz about how much they believe it, how much they feel the tears were fake, how many people now dislike Hoda. What's everybody's thoughts on the interview? You guys buying it? Type a 1 in the chat if you guys are buying it. Type 2 if you're not buying it. Type 3 if you're really not sure how you actually feel about the 3 interviews that were put out.
Well, she's still living in this sort of netherworld of not knowing what happened to her mom, right? She says she wakes up every night and wonders about the terror that her mother saw over top of her bed before being taken from her bed in the dark of night. No shoes, in her pajamas, bleeding. So,
3? Wow, you guys, that's an overwhelming early vote. A 3. You guys are not sure how you guys feel about it. How come? Why? I'm very curious. Why? Why? You guys are like teetering the line. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You weren't feeling Hoda? You weren't feeling her responses?
we all wish her well, and I think everybody also wants this solved. 1-800-CALL-FBI. 1-800-CALL-FBI if you know anything, even small. Quick note from my sponsor, Let's Face It. I cover some of the darkest crimes out there. But let me tell you, some of the scariest stuff is happening right behind your screen.
Okay, yeah. We're not doing no ads here. Keep it rolling. Obsidian said, I do believe Savannah, but I'm still sketched out by her siblings and stuff at the same time. I just don't know. This one is really hard, right? Because the mom of America has been abducted. And Savannah comes out and does an interview. And I don't know where I saw this, but then I saw in an interview, they were saying, the guest speaker was saying, if she cries too little, she's going to seem suspicious. And if she cries too much, she's just asking for attention. And so she's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? And I don't know, this one's tough. This one's really, really tough. And like Obsidian said, I kind of feel the same way, right? I believe Savannah, but still, siblings still kind of sketch me out. I don't know. I kind of agree with that too.
Online, people getting all fussy about this. There was an arrest made today. It was a Pima County sheriff's deputy from the department that's investigating the Guthrie case. Somebody who's been arrested.
Oh, and then I heard that Savannah is actually returning to the Today Show on April 6th. Are you guys going to be tuning in to that very first episode in the morning? I know it's going to be widely broadcasted and televised. So how do you think it's going to turn out? Think it's going to be one of the highest rated shows, morning shows, when she comes back?
And fired. Kidnapping charges. Yeah, I know your first thing goes to, oh God, kidnapping charges. Whoa, are they looking into him for the Guthrie case? That's what everybody's saying. They're even putting the picture of the suspect and this sheriff's deputy. It is not related, full stop. Okay. It's not related. His name is Travis Reynolds. I think he's 22 years old. If I saw correctly. Yeah, 22 years old. So arrested, facing charges of kidnapping, fired following the announcement. The Pima County Sheriff's Department confirmed. And here's what I can tell you. He is accused of sexually exploiting and soliciting a woman that he had under arrest, according to the court documents.
Yeah, Heather, I watched the Amazon documentary on the Idaho murders, and that whole documentary kind of put things into perspective, right? How the internet, the TikTokers, YouTubers like myself kind of pick apart every little thing, right? Doesn't matter if it's an interview or a little clip, but yeah, I mean, the internet, is kind of undefeated when it comes to that. So people are still going to pick it apart. I think even after they determine, if she's found alive or if she's dead, if she was murdered, even after the kidnapper is caught, if he's ever caught, people are still going to point fingers at whoever they feel they believe is a suspect, right?
Complaint is apparently backed up by some partial video, I think, as they say.
Yep.
Some evidence that's video, a witness statement, and apparently some kind of non-denial, it seems, from the deputy himself. He is accused, he's not convicted. That a lot of this information coming from TNZ, the prosecutors say that a female victim told the authorities that she was afraid of the deputy because of the, quote, power dynamic between the two of them after Reynolds, the sheriff's deputy, allegedly called her hot and shared a vape pen with her while
Yeah, that was crazy too, to hear about that Pima County sheriff's deputy that was arrested. He thought that he could get away with it, huh? Take her to a hotel, offer a few things. Man, that guy was really reaching, huh?
transporting her to the Pima County Jail. That's, of course, in Tucson, Arizona. He allegedly offered to help her with her case, saying that they could, quote, go to a hotel and have sex, end quote. The woman claimed that the officer showed her sexually explicit videos and kept her in the car for a while. The court report also says that Reynolds, quote, eventually got her out of the vehicle and demanded that she show her breasts before bringing her into the station, again, allegedly. The video surveillance from the Pima County Jail apparently confirms part of the account, according to TMZ. And the deputy, Reynolds, stated in the complaint that he may or may not, this is a quote, may or may not have discussed having sex with the alleged victim or shown her sexual videos. So that doesn't look good.
Yeah, and if there is anybody out here that is watching this and hasn't caught up on the Idaho 4 case, Amazon did a really good job putting this documentary together. It's only 4 episodes, so I do highly recommend watching it. I binge watched it all in a night, so it's possible. It's possible. You guys should definitely check it out.
For that deputy. That's for sure. And not for the department either. I mean, yeah, this is a 22-year-old, right? So he's probably pretty new.
22.
I don't know if he was working
God. Damn, this guy just threw his whole life away.
On the Guthrie case. I'll be interested to find out, though, because lots of new guys were on the case. So about Savannah, I want to tell you something else. Her colleagues said that her arriving back on the set, back on the show after 2.5 months is right after Easter. And they said this is almost symbolic. After Easter, after the resurrection. I saw Al Roker talking about it on the air. You know, Savannah's a very deeply faithful woman, and she's written a book about her faith, and she talked a lot about her faith in this interview with Hoda. And so it's probably apropos that Al Roker would make that comment. She also said, I won't let sadness win for her, meaning for her mom. And she says, she taught me. She talked a lot about her mom's resilience after her dad dying. I saw her world shatter. I saw it, and I saw her get up, and I saw her believe. Wow, it's really hard. And I saw her love. So a lot of talk from Savannah in the Today Show interview about faith and about love and about resilience and about, her love of her Today Show family, and that she really misses that family and needs family, that in trauma, everybody needs family. And she has 2 families, her own and then the Today Show family. So good luck to her on April 6th. Okay, now I want to bring in Cece Moore, genetic genealogy expert, head of Paraben Nanos Labs, to ask her about this news that I have discovered from my source, that the lab in Deerfield Beach, Florida.
I don't know what to put here, so I just put this name. What's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout outs to our family in Ireland. What's up?
DNA Labs International is rushing the job for Pima County, and they're rolling out technology early. Something that was supposed to roll out next year, they're using it now on the Guthrie case. Here's my conversation with Cece.
Wait, hold on. What did she say? They're using new technology. in this case that isn't even out yet. So wait, what?
Rushing the job for Pima County, and they're rolling out technology early. Something that was supposed to roll out next year, they're using it now on the Guthrie case. Here's my conversation with Cece. So Cece, what do you make of the news that I learned that the DNA International Lab in Deerfield is rushing the job? And
I have it right here, Storm. You weren't here when we unboxed your supporter mail. See, it's right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Mama Flo received a gift from Storm. Oh no, what happened? It just reset. That was weird. Let me share my screen again. But no, Mama Flo will definitely get it. She will definitely get it.
and they're rolling
And Storm, thank you so much. That was such an awesome and thoughtful gift. We appreciate that. And in case anybody wants to know, we have set up a P.O. box. So that way, in case anybody wants to send any treats or some snacks to Yoshi, he would definitely love. Ronan, thank you so much. You're late, but you're here. Just got the Discord message. Well, thank you.
out technology early. Something that was supposed to roll out next year, they're using it now on the Guthrie case. Here's my conversation with Cece. So Cece, what do you make of the news that I learned that the DNA International Lab in Deerfield is rushing the job and using tech that is, state of the art, wasn't even supposed.
My 605 Flo, thank you for a comfortable place on the internet. You help so many people in your nursing career, but you also help us listening to have a place to feel calm and safe together as well. Very special. Thank you so much. Well, that's what we're here for, right? So then that way we can all gather and have a place to hang out and chill and discuss and debate freely, right? I think it's only right to have one of those places that you can kind of agree to disagree sometimes, right? And this is the place to do it, right? As long as we can do it respectfully, everybody's opinions here are welcome.
To roll out till next year.
Well, earlier we heard from the sheriff that this case might not be able to be solved for a year or so, right? When they were talking about the mixture. So we know there was something in the offing that they were looking forward to. I don't think that was just completely random. That tells me that DNA Labs International may have told him there's some new tech coming out that if we haven't solved the case, we may be able to apply to this. And then I think what happened is whoever was working on that was either encouraged to speed it up or was just really inspired by the case to try to do that. When companies are working on new tech, there's usually a schedule. And so I'm guessing that whatever this new tech is, they sped that up and they, tried to put it in this quarter or next quarter versus next year at this time.
You and your colleagues speak a whole other language than I do. And I think a lot of our listeners too. But I imagine you all getting together at like super egghead conferences and having the most incredible dialogue and then being so optimistic about what is on the horizon. Can you talk a little bit in my language about what is on the horizon and what this might actually be and what it might mean?
Sure. Let's go backwards a little bit. When we first started genetic genealogy and creating this methodology, it was just this little niche thing. People laughed at us, to be blunt, or rolled their eyes at us. It was just considered this thing for genealogists or to help adoptees. And people didn't take it that seriously.
Boy, you showed them.
Yeah, right. We sure did. We love doing that. We were actually told by scientists that we would never be able to use this type of DNA, autosomal DNA, for genealogical purposes to learn more about someone's family tree. So we definitely proved them wrong.
How many of you guys have actually done like a 23andMe? I've been thinking about doing it, obviously, because myself, I am a mixed breed. And I'd like to know, some of my past and my history, because I've asked Mama Flo, the background of where my Caucasian family comes from. And I don't really have answers. So Mama Flo, we got to get that 23andMe done because I need to know. I want to know.
But what that meant is there wasn't a lot of advancement that was done specifically for this field other than what us volunteers and citizen scientists
Do
were
not do
doing.
it.
So on the academic side, on the scientific side, there wasn't as much progress helping to
Don't do
push
it.
it forward because they were working on
All right, y'all got to tell me why. Y'all got to tell me why.
other things.
Are they gonna clone me? They ain't gonna get much from it. They ain't gonna get much.
Now, sometimes they would develop something that also benefited us, but we were not the focus. Well, once we started solving these cold cases and
Look at that. Sydney said, I already made the mistake, you guys. And then she's telling me to do it. If the government wants your DNA, they will get it. Well, guess what, y'all? The government already has my DNA. So they already have it.
high profile active
They've
cases.
got my fingerprints and all, right? As a professional, we have to do these things, especially when we get our license. We have to do these things called live scans. So my fingerprints already with the FBI and the DOJ. So it's not much you can hide.
Like the Koberger's case with investigative genetic genealogy, suddenly there was a lot more attention and interest in what we're doing. And so I think that sparked a lot of advancements that we hadn't seen previously, and they've been moving at a really rapid pace. So it's always difficult to predict what's coming unless you're the person working on them. But
That's true, Ronan. I did hear that they went bankrupt, right? So the government buying them out or what? You're Irish and that's pretty much it? See, I asked Mama Flo what I was, and she said Irish too. But I don't know. Maybe Mama Flo can tell us more in the chat, because all I know is I'm half Filipino and then the other half is white. But where the white comes from, Mama Flo, let us know.
the things that we run into, I'll say, that are challenges are highly degraded DNA. You know, we already do have ways to work with that, and mixtures, which is what we've heard a lot about in this case. So the company I work with, Parabon, is
We asked her to let us know, and she said, nope. She's just going to leave us all in a mystery. Does Flojo want to know his ancestral background? Should he find out? Let me know.
really expert. They are expert in working with mixtures. But what has not been developed successfully yet is using whole genome sequencing for mixtures. It's been on this other platform. Like when you spit in the tube and mail it into Ancestry, they're using something called a microarray chip or a SNP chip. That is the platform where it's easiest to separate out mixtures, called deconvolution. And so my guess is there's a lot of work being done on trying to deconvolute or separate out mixtures, different people's DNA, using whole genome sequencing.
Well, there's where I get confused, because honestly, with all of the rape cases and all of the messy murder scenes, all I've ever imagined is mixtures. And all I ever hear in court is mixtures, but they seem to talk as though it's not, an impediment to solving a crime. So what kind of mixtures are you talking about that are an impediment?
Well, there's simple mixtures where you have two people's DNA and the person you're trying to identify is the majority. Say the suspect, the rapist, is 90% and the victim is 10%. That's really straightforward, because you have the victim's DNA, you can extract out that DNA profile and you're left with this majority suspect profile. Mm-hmm. When you are dealing with complex mixtures, that either means there are multiple people, 3 or more, or the person you're trying to identify is by far the minority. So the scientists where I work at Parabon can go down to 40%, which is actually pretty groundbreaking. They can deconvolute or separate out the perpetrator's DNA if he's at least 40% of that sample. But if you have...
So Parabon Nanolabs is a Virginia-based DNA technology company specializing in forensic services, genetic genealogy, and DNA phenotyping to identify suspects or human remains. So she works out in Virginia, and DNA, DNA Labs International is based out of Deerfield, Florida.
Have 3, 4, 5 people, right? And everyone's only providing 20% or 10%, 15%, that's really not doable for investigative genetic genealogy right now. And so that's where we could see the most progress And I think with scientists, academics, forensic scientists, all really excited about what we're doing now, that's why we're seeing so much forward motion. We've seen a tremendous amount of advancement just since the Golden State Killer was identified through investigative genetic genealogy in 2018. We needed quite a lot of DNA at that time. And now we need just the tiniest amount. And that's thanks to our scientists. That's not something the genealogists can help push forward. So we're reliant on the scientists to push the technology forward and the techniques in the lab. But I do need to make one distinction here, which is when you're in court and you're hearing about mixtures, they are talking about STR profiles, short tandem repeats, which is what is admissible in court. That is the type of DNA that law enforcement has used for decades. That's the type of DNA that you always hear about in court because, one, that's what's been used, and two, that's what is admissible as evidence. That's what's used to arrest somebody, charge someone, convict someone of a crime. That's a totally different type of DNA than what we use for investigative genetic genealogy. So they often can deal with complex mixtures for STR profiles. There are many, many years of historical advancements on that.
So really quick, I was just looking at it said, following a bankruptcy auction, the TTAM Research Institute, a nonprofit organization founded by 23andMe CEO and I don't know how to say that. Wojcicki is acquiring 23andMe and its extensive customer genetic database for $305 million, while Regeneron Pharmaceuticals originally made a bid for $256 million. The final sale to this nonprofit, which includes a biobank of genetic information, was approved by a judge in July 2025. Yikes. Nonprofit, huh? Good luck to our DNA.
Side, because that's what's been of interest, right? STR profiles are what have been helping get criminals off the streets for decades. And so there are a lot of scientists who've worked on mixture, deconvolution packages, software packages that can help law enforcement to separate out those mixtures in their criminal labs. And so this is totally different. This is a different type of DNA that we use. So our profiles are made up of single nucleotide polymorphisms, or we call them SNPs. And so that's a whole different technique and science to deconvolute that type of DNA mixture. And so you can't really compare the two. The STR mixtures have had decades to be worked on, developed, refined. SNP profiles have only been used in law enforcement for a relatively short time, less than 10 years. And so the techniques to deconvolute mixtures are still new and are still being developed.
Can I ask you, if I were in 5th grade, because that's sort of how I think, what's the difference between the STRs and the SNP?
They're just a different type of genetic marker, a different type of DNA. When you test someone, you can test their STRs or you can test their SNPs, their SNPs. The SNPs are, how do I say this? The SNPs are locations on your genome that vary widely between people.
Who can pronounce that last name that I typed in the chat? Let me know, because I definitely can't say it.
Because as you know, 99.9% of our DNA is the same. So when you're looking at the SNPs, you're looking at the ones that mutate more quickly and that vary between you and me and, someone over there. And that helps us to identify someone. STRs are how many times something is repeated, the short tandem repeats. So that's where you're seeing maybe there's 8 repeats at that location or 10 repeats. So it's really just a different type of DNA. And it's there's not really any reason for us to get too
Ashley Banfield and Flojo got the same look, right? Lost AF, not gonna lie.
technical about
Sure.
it. If we're talking to, an 8th grader, right? If that's what you want.
Well, I always say 5th because I think the 8th graders are smarter than that. But I'm curious that we're just not there yet with SNP research and development. But at some point, is it going to be as good as what STR has been in the last, 5-6 decades?
Well, in my opinion, it's much better because we are able to broaden the search, right? With STRs, they're using just a small number of them, 20 traditionally. It used to only be 13, as you probably know.
Mm-hmm.
And that has worked great for its usage, but that means there's been a lot of cold cases. There's been a lot of violent criminals who've left their DNA behind at a crime scene but have not been identified. So SNP profiles, because we look at hundreds of thousands of those genetic markers in genetic genealogy, we can find their cousins, right? And we've all seen that. We've been able to reverse engineer the identity of these people from their distant cousins. So to me, SNP profiling is actually far superior. Another example is if there's a missing person, if we find unidentified human remains, or what's commonly known as Jane or John Does, traditionally you have to have a first-degree relative, so a parent, child, or full sibling, to identify that person legally. They don't always exist. Mom and dad might have died. This person might have died before they ever had children. They might not have any living siblings. And so now we're able to use SNP profiles to close those cases, not only to identify that unknown individual, but then to have the medical examiners rule it's legally closed. That legal identification has always been through STRs. And so a lot of those cases just sat, even if they thought they knew who it was. Now, if we write up these very conclusive reports using SNP profiles, saying we've got a first cousin on each side of this person's family, for instance, or we have their maternal aunt, some medical examiners are willing to take that now in addition to the other evidence to close those cases. So it really just broadens what we're able to do with a DNA profile. And so I think we'll be moving more and more towards SNP profiles in the future.
Shout out to the boss bitch. That's right, you guys. We have been talking about getting some merch for the channel, you guys, and with your help, we have set goals, because I hear it's good to set goals, right? But yeah, we set a small goal, so then that way we can consider getting some merch for you guys. So then that way we can start doing some giveaways, and I don't know. But you guys let me know if there was some type of merch that you guys would want to see. What do you guys want to see? Some shirts, some hats. I know I see a lot of people doing mugs. Y'all tell me, because I would be designing all this stuff myself. That's what I do.
Sure, it's so ingrained in law enforcement and the courts to use STRs. And so I don't.
What's up, Teresa? Welcome. Celebrating 1 month as a member of the Inner Circle. Let's go.
See them moving away from that soon or totally. But I think SNP profiles will be used more and more. And we've seen that even. We had a case where we were able to narrow it down to twins. And that was as far as we could get because they had identical DNA through traditional methods of comparison. So their STRs were exactly the same. But Dr. Janet Cady, one of our brilliant scientists at Parabon, was able to find novel mutations. So small differences in the full genome of this person looking at their SNPs. And she was able to say, it's more likely this twin than this one. And the court accepted that.
I'm so mad that the cache emoji doesn't work on StreamYard. But I'm looking at it right here on another tab. That thing's so hilarious. Did you guys see, I'm sorry to go off topic, but did you guys see that video that came out of Spider Cash doing a dance? Man, that shit was funny. That shit was funny.
As identification for the very first time in history. This just happened a few months ago. And so once courts start accepting SNP profiles for identification, that changes the game. And we've seen that a couple of times now, also with rootless hairs that didn't have an STR profile. We recently saw that.
I'm going to get back to a rootless hair in a moment because that's on my mind about what's going on in Florida. But back to the Egghead Conference where you guys all talk about stuff none of us understand. If you had to wager a guess on what kind of tech they're working on, that they're going to roll up next year, what would it pertain to? Not suggesting we know what the tech is, but where's the real...
Thank you, Amber, so much. Thank you so much for your $4.99 super chat. Flojo merch, let's go.
Friction point in your industry where everybody's trying to get this piece of the holy grail. Like, where do you suppose that might be?
I think it must be the mixture
I know,
deconvolution.
half a honey bun. That was a half a honey bun.
And I
Good
think
Lord.
there's two reasons for that.
Oh,
there's-
we were just talking about it, Ronan, and guess what? The boss bitch just dropped the honey bun. Damn! Shout out to the boss bitch for your $100 super chat. Dear Lord, thank you so much. My God, why me? What? Damn! Very generous of you, the boss bitch. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. You've been a long time supporter of the channel, so we do appreciate you supporting. And we're definitely gonna have to get some FloJo TV merch after this.
really only two options that I can see, and that would be a more advanced software package to work on more complex mixtures, or some type of equipment that is really sensitive that can pick up tiny amounts of DNA. But we've already seen tremendous advancements in that area with the MVAC, for instance. And in this case, it doesn't seem as relevant to me because if you're picking up really tiny amounts of DNA or finding really degraded DNA, that's less likely to be relevant in an active case like this. And you're much more likely to get someone's DNA who is not your suspect. And so if this is something they're really excited about, to me, that leans more in the direction of the mixture issue. And this is, such an issue in the field. We've had a lot of success solving cases with mixtures because we get them all the time with sexual assault cases. But I wouldn't say that that's been true across the whole field. We've definitely been a bit ahead of the game because of our really brilliant bioinformatics scientists at Parabon. And they had a jump on others because they started working with mixtures way back in, I think it was 2014, when they pioneered using SNP profiles for forensic purposes because they were using SNPs to predict someone's physical traits. When you see those images that are created just from the DNA, the hair color, eye color, skin color, shape, face, that's using SNP profiles because you need more information.
Shout out to Obsidian for that $6.99 super sticker. I appreciate you, Obsidian. Shout out to Obsidian. Shout out to Strategic Eyes. Keep up the great work you guys do. An awesome job over there at the channel.
From the DNA than you can get from an STR profile. So they started working with those before investigative genetic genealogy was even a thing. And so they had kind of a jump on everybody else.
Hey, quick note from my sponsor.
Nope, we're not doing that. Not. We're not sponsored over here yet, yo. One day we'll have a sponsor, you guys. When FloJo puts out more content.
Sounded interesting to me in that I didn't expect it. The mixtures that are too tricky to solve are when the contributor.
You can't even see the super sticker. It just says super sticker. I'm looking at it over here. It says incredible. Thank you so much, Obsidian. Appreciate it.
Is 40% or below. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. That seems like a lot to me. But 40% isn't?
I think we are able, as I said, at Parabon, they're able to work with 40% or above for that perpetrator. For a case like this, I'm sure they would try if it was, say, 30%. They would, because they're making advancements all the time with what
that still sounds
much,
like a
right?
lot, though. Like I was thinking, if it's only 0.01% of a contributor, it's too hard. But I mean, 30 to 40% to the layperson, that's like really surprising.
Oh shoot! I just realized that I missed a Cash App too. Shout out to the boss bitch for another Cash App donation. Damn. We are sponsored by the boss bitch, so shout out to the boss bitch for supporting heavy. That was that was another honey bun donation on Cash App, yo. That's crazy, man. The boss bitch, save your money. Save your money.
Knowledge. Parabon's the only one who will even work with a 40% mixture. Most labs, or all the other labs I'm aware of, say at least 50% or more. And so you'd probably be surprised if you went to one of these labs and said, I've got a mixture that's 50-50, they might even say no. Because we've had a lot of people come to us who had been turned down other places.
Teresa, again, thank you so much for your $5 super chat for merch. There you go. You guys, we're really gonna have to do this, y'all. We're gonna have to do it just because of y'all. If you guys want it, if you guys really want merch, let me know because we will definitely do something and make something that No, obviously that you guys will like, right?
The issue is if you are going to perform genetic genealogy, right, you need those, at least the majority of those SNPs, those genetic markers, to be from your unknown suspect. And so if it's a minority of that mixture, that becomes more and more difficult. We can work with, quite a few of those missing. I've helped, like the Angie Dodge case in Idaho Falls, Idaho that I worked on. We only had 61% of the SNPs that we normally have because we had a low call rate. A call rate is how much of the DNA or how many of those SNPs you were able to call, you were able to get the values for. Mm-hmm. So if I'm sure at DNA Labs International, they're trying everything they can. They're a great lab. And so I'm sure they've tried, even if those proportions are not optimal, even if they do have only 30%. But
can I ask you about listen.
The boss bitch making it rain right now. Yo, maybe I should just start dancing. Should I just start dancing instead? Would that be better or what? Do me a favor, you guys. Hit that like button for me, please. The boss bitch is going heavy tonight on a Sunday night and donating and supporting heavy on the channel, you guys. You know what I forgot to? And we're probably just going to have to, at the end of the day, turn this into like a members only after it's done because we're going off topic hella tonight. But you know what I just realized is it's March 29th and yesterday, somebody out there celebrated their 21st birthday as a free person, you guys. Y'all know who I'm talking about? I feel like we should probably talk about that too, right? Because we haven't really talked about this in a while, but somebody out there turned 21 last night on March 28th and they are still walking free.
Listen, I'm going to ask you to read some tea leaves only because I cannot imagine what sort of mixture they got. We are unaware that there's blood or semen or anything like that those are the big obvious ones
everybody celebrating her birthday. Teresa said her son it's your son's 34th birthday, and then Ronan's wife celebrated her birthday. Well, shout out to y'all. Happy birthday to you.
We know this is the guy. We just have to find the guy. Mm-hmm. We don't know that the mixture they have is even the guy at this point.
And so, I expect it's not only two people. Usually two people would be considered a simple mixture. It's when you get three or more that it's complex. Now, as I said, if your perpetrator was only 10%, you still got a challenge. But complex mixtures implies there's three or more. So I think there could be four people.
Where do you find things like, where would you find mixtures like that? Because I'm thinking a toothbrush has one, unless someone borrows it. I'm thinking a Kleenex has one, unless somebody was rooting around in the trash. Where would you find a complex mixture like the one they might be sampling right now?
Well, I think it's, transfer DNA or what's commonly known as touch DNA. It is.
Yesterday was my mom's birthday. Well, happy birthday, Mom. Who else is celebrating her birthday? Come on, y'all. We're doing birthday shout outs now, you guys. Sorry, Mommy. Okay. Well, hello, Mommy.
Something that was touched, probably with that glove after he took out the bite.
That's what I think. The bite light or whatever they call it. If it is a bite light, I think it is. It looks like it. But
bite light. I mean, we've kind of assumed it was. And when we're talking about this, that's the best chance of getting that perpetrator's DNA is if he took that out of his mouth. I can't imagine for 42 minutes he would keep it in his mouth. So then if he touched somewhere in Nancy's home where many other people had touched, like say a doorknob, for instance, if he touched a doorknob with that glove, it would have some of his DNA on it, even if he just scratched his nose or adjusted that mask he had on.
And by the way, people do that. They put gloves on and then they still touch their shit. They touch their steering wheels. They touch their car seats. They touch their seat belts. They touch their car door, maybe even their own door. So yeah. And then they touch them and they scratch their face or their,
I mean, yeah, even like with Koberger, right? He was so careful, but then he left a sheath that he had touched the
Yeah.
snap, right, without gloves. And so
Look, it's funny that they just talked about this because we talk about this in nursing school every time I teach my students about infection control, right? And I always tell my students that on average, a person touches their face roughly between 16 and 23 times an hour. So if you multiply that by a day, right, that could be anywhere between 250 to 400 times a day. So I want to know, how many times have you guys touched your face today? And shout out to Gold Digger for gifting a membership. Who received that membership? Thank you so much, Gold. Appreciate that. Tony 300 just received a gifted membership. So welcome to the inner circle.
So this person could touch their gun holster that they touched before they had gloves on, or something, you know, along those lines. Or if they pulled a gun on Nancy, for instance, a gun maybe that they hadn't fully wiped down from touching before without gloves.
We'll just gifted another gifted membership. Shout out to, and the boss bitch just gifted another 5 memberships. So shout out to Gen X, Lorraine, sorry, Starfish, Rubber Ramada, and Storm received another one, and Gold gifted another membership. So Mama Jax received another one. All of you guys are so generous tonight, you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. I feel bad because I haven't come on all week. I did one live in the middle of the week, and man, it's just been hard. It's just been hard. I've been busy with work and everything, but I do appreciate you guys showing up, showing love. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Who's this weirdo in the chat? You guys can go ahead and get rid of that person, whoever that is. There you go. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, mods. Holding it down.
So it might be
Hey, did
speed.
Gold just gift another one? Shout out to Gold for another gifted membership. Yeah, y'all are crazy tonight. What's going on?
Skin cells, you know, a tiny amount of DNA that's mixed on a surface of her home that many other people have touched over the weeks or months or whenever the last time something was thoroughly cleaned. So I think that is likely what we're looking at here. If he had dripped saliva, for instance, on the ground, that's less likely to be a complex mixture, right? There might be some things that people dragged in from their shoes, but that's a pretty good source of DNA. So I don't think that is what they found. But again, it's all speculation, right?
Yeah, no, because we know so little, and I think that.
Yo, what? The boss bitch just gifted 20 memberships, you guys. What's going on? What is going on? I can feel the love tonight, y'all. Y'all are really showing up. You guys know, you guys really don't have to, right? This is not a place where you guys are obligated to donate anything to my channel. Sometimes I don't even know what to say when you guys do that. And we've gone off topic so many times already off this show, but sometimes it's just crazy. It's crazy. Sometimes I really don't know what to say, but thank you. And the boss bitch, somebody take her phone away. Somebody take her phone away.
Deputies know so little as well. But I keep going back to the.
Abuelita said that Matt still has DNA that could be valued still now. Since there is that Matt still there until today? I don't know if anybody has. I don't know if anybody's still out there, like boots on the ground. But if that Matt is still there, like there's a problem with that, right? That Matt should not be there.
Things we know that he touched. We know he had to have touched. We know we saw him touching the Nest Cam and the mount because he's got his fat fucking hands on it and wrenching it. I mean, I'm angry when I talk about this guy. I think everybody else feels the same way. They probably don't mind my F-bombs, but you know, he's wrenching on that camera and then he's, you know, I believe he's using the twig to get between the camera and the mount to yank it off. Maybe he isn't, whatever, but he's messing with it with his disgusting hands. So we know he touched the mount. We know he touched the camera. We don't have the camera, but we have the mount and they took it off the wall. And then we started hearing about DNA. I believe after that, I'll go back to my notes, but I believe we started hearing about DNA after
I think that's a great theory. Yeah, I didn't
You know,
realize they'd taken them out, but that makes perfect sense.
they finally took them out, but it took them weeks. It was up there for about 2 or maybe 3 weeks till they finally took them out off.
Okay.
And I think that was after they saw him do his business, but they had to have known he was there because he took the damn camera. So he didn't have to have the video to know that he'd messed with it.
Mhm.
Then we also know, as has been proven out, I have
Brady G, it's your birthday. You're turning 48. Everybody greet Brady in the chat. A happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
had a source that told me on day 3, back door wide open. Savannah has confirmed back.
Okay, so you guys, the whole back door wide open thing, right? That's been another thing that's been debated ever since Ashley Banfield came out and said that the back door was propped wide open. So why the back door all of a sudden, right? Savannah did confirm in her interview when she was talking to Hoda that the back doors, she said doors, right? Plural. So there were more than one door propped open. But I want to know why you guys think the door was left open. Do you think that was a plan for, the perp or perps, multiple perps, to use as an escape route? Because we know that when the perp exited, right, they used the front door, or at least that's what we're being told because of the blood splatter, right? And then I showed you those images of the possible blood splatter foot, the track marks. Trying to see if I still have a photo of that. I think Chillinois was the one who posted that, but let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Maybe not. But if I find it, I'll definitely bring it up. Once a door is opened, additional touches is more of a risk for leaving DNA behind. There you go. There you go. That's that critical thinking right there, right? Who's going to open a door and touch it multiple times? That back door was propped wide open. Who said that she left on a stretcher? Banfield said that? No. Did she? This girl was tripping then, right?
Back doors propped open. So we know he had to have touched something on that door or doors to get in. So whether it was a handle or pulled on it or whatever it was. But
Yeah, and how often do you clean the outdoor handle of your back doors? Probably not very often, right?
how about never?
Yeah.
Guilty, right? DJ Cino Evil, what's going on? Good blessed Sunday. Just got in. Speaking. What did I miss? Not much. We're just kind of going off the rails tonight, hanging out, listening to stories about DNA. So how are you doing, DJ Cino Evil? How was your weekend? Shout out to the boss bitch for another $5 super chat. I love all of you. You're my fam. I've met some wonderful people in Discord. Thank you all for supporting me. FloJoe's #1. I don't know about that, but I do appreciate you. Thank you for the support.
And so that
Are you
could
supposed to? Wait, Cece.
I haven't either.
I put one in the chat if you guys clean the doorknobs to the door on in the back of your house. I don't. I'm guilty.
But maybe if you're a germ phobic person and you go in and out, you might think to wipe it down. But likely that would be a great source for a complex mixture.
Because honestly, think about it. No one touches your door handle if they don't belong to the house. Like your FedEx guy's not going to touch your door handle necessarily. They might, but it's unlikely. So the people who touch your front door handle are going to be your family, your friends, maybe a guest who stayed there, however long ago. But generally speaking,
cleaner, maybe a gardener, possibly. Yeah. And you'd think they would know those people, as you're saying. But do they know every single person that Nancy ever hired to work on or help with her home? Since she lived alone, I still think it's very possible they don't know every person. I mean, you could go back through her financial.
Well, ambulance, maybe. But I used to work for a transport company where we used to transport non-medical patients. And wasn't necessarily an ambulance, but yes, it was a large Sprinter type van. So we used to have that thing bolted down and we used to roll the stretchers into the back, lift them, and have them lock in place. But I mean, you couldn't do it in a sedan, right? So it would definitely need to be in some sort of van, something big enough to hold a stretcher, lying down. But I don't know. It's crazy because we have footage of a perp who was able to remove Nancy Guthrie from their home, weighing 150 pounds. And mind you, if she's very immobile, if she's unconscious, that's 150 pounds dead weight, right? And I don't care what anybody says, but 150 pounds dead weight is a little hard to lug around. So it's weird because we have footage of a perp coming up to the door, right? But then there's no video evidence of any cars in the area, right? And then I forget how far it is, maybe about 2.5 miles from any of the main streets, right? So where's the camera footage or where's the CCTV or surveillance footage on any of the cars coming out? Obviously, if that's evidence, we're not going to see that, right? But they have not even put anything out for like a car of interest. After watching the Koberger case, they quickly put out the Bolo for the Elantra. Shout out to the boss bitch for a $5 super chat. Merch. Thank you so much. And then Ms. Dizzle for another $5 super chat. I think we're gonna hit our goal tonight, you guys. We're definitely gonna hit our goal. So it looks like we might be one away. So thank you guys for all of that. We are going to get some merch. We're gonna have to, you guys. But I forgot what I was saying. The Koberger case, the Elantra, right? They definitely put out that little be on the lookout for the Elantra, and even though they had the year wrong for Koberger, they were still looking for that white Elantra. We haven't heard anything about a car to look out for in this case, and it's weird.
Records. Hopefully there'd be checks or something, but maybe she paid with cash sometimes. And so maybe they've got 2 unknown males. I think they have to have at least 2 unknown males, because if not, they could pull the Y chromosome. So the Y chromosome is the DNA that men get from their father, who got it from his father. And you could learn a lot about this person's background, even if you couldn't identify them, from that Y chromosome.
Ronan. Shout out to Ronan for your $5 super chat. Go! We just hit our goal, you guys. Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate that, you guys. We are definitely going to have to look into getting some kind of merch. And I don't know. What's the first thing you got to do to look into that kind of stuff? I don't know, but we will definitely be looking into it. So thank you guys so much for everything that you guys have done so far to help support this channel and get it to where it is today. I do appreciate all of you guys' support. So merch it is, you guys. We got no choice now. No turning back.
And maybe they've done that. It can often tell you the surname of a male because that Y chromosome is passed down in the same pattern as surnames in many population groups, but not all. And so, for instance, the Hispanic population group, they take mom's and dad's last name and they have a different naming pattern. So it probably would.
Right, Austin. Are there flock cameras anywhere, right? Well, we haven't heard a single thing. Nothing, right? It makes sense, though. They might just pushed her into the van with the stretcher, and I could imagine she was restrained on it like they do in the ambulances sometimes. Yeah, I mean, they definitely do, right? I know when we put patients on a stretcher, we have about like 5 straps that we have to put on a patient. So if she was in there pretty tightly, right? Let's see. In the neighborhood, it's wealthy neighborhood, so wouldn't be surprising. Yep. Gold Digger said pool maintenance comes through our side door, so their DNA will be on that door handle. The air conditioner service man comes through your front door, their DNA is going to be on the doorknob. Landscape services the same. Yikes. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of DNA on those doorknobs then, huh? See, I got nobody here, just me and Yoshi, right? So ain't gonna be no other DNA in here but mine and my dogs.
Give you their surname if it was a Hispanic person, but if it was
Yeah, actually, you know what? It's funny because I used to before actually when I get my studio up and running and the way I want it to be, because some of you guys may not even know, but I'm a artsy fartsy kind of person. Before I even got into like media, and music and nursing, I used to do a lot of crafting. And in this studio right over here, you guys can't really see any of it until I turn off my green screen. But I have um, a whole shelf here, and I do a lot of tufting. Has anybody ever heard of tufting? Tufting is a type of I make rugs, not rugs with the D, right? But I make rugs out of yarn and a tufting gun. So I don't know. Maybe I'll show some of you guys in the Discord. If you guys are in the Discord, you guys have probably seen it in the art channel. But some of the things that I do are some of the rugs. I don't know. Maybe I'll make a FloJo TV rug. But those are very time consuming and they can run very, very, very expensive sometimes, depending on the type of material. So, but yeah, that's some of the stuff that I do. I don't know if I have any photos of any of them, but I'll show you guys one in a bit. Let me just find a photo really quick.
Somebody who had deep roots in, say, Northwest Europe,
I'm
you
looking at the guy.
very
I'm looking,
possibly
guys.
could get their surname from that Y chromosome. And sometimes that works in cases where there's nothing else to work with. So I suspect they must have at least 2 Y chromosomes, or they would have already been going down that road and probably already told us at least the population group that person's father's line comes from.
So let me ask you if presumably Nancy's daughter Annie and her husband Tommaso, they're going to use that door in their regular course of interaction with their mom and mom-in-law. And then, of course, Nancy's going to use that front door, maybe a couple of her friends. And I assume the police have gone and they've gotten the DNA from her direct circle of friends to compare it. Mm-hmm. If you have all those DNA profiles, is it easier to deal with that mixture because you're just canceling out the ones you can see? Or when it's mixed like that and you've got 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, you can't even match the ones you know?
It starts becoming a real jumble. It's made, the SNPs are A, T, C's, and G's that make up our DNA. So you either have an A there, a T, C, or G. When you start getting too many people's profiles, it's just a jumble of those letters, and it gets harder and harder to know which goes to where. So there have been a lot of studies done that allow them to predict if you have an A at this location, then you may have, a G or whatever at this location, because population groups tend to have patterns in their DNA, the way it lines up. And so they can use that to a certain degree to predict this A goes with this G and this A goes with this T, and so on. But if it's just too many people, I think that is going to become extremely difficult, if not impossible.
So what about the last guy to touch the door handle? So for instance, many people have touched the door handle, but the last guy, he's all over it. Does that help? Does that make it?
Yeah, it should be that person is the majority contributor. But if this is a second person, for instance, not the guy that we saw with the possible white light.
Type in the chat if you guys want to see some of the rugs that I've done before in the past. Let me know.
Who hadn't touched his face yet, or had just a tiny amount of his DNA on the outside of those gloves, then there's probably not going to be much of his DNA there. So even if he's the last one.
Oh, I thought the sirens were coming from my place.
To touch it, the tiny amount of his DNA on the outside of those gloves.
I really want to see rugs.
There's probably not going to be much of his DNA there. So even if he's the last one to touch it, he has to actually have some DNA to place there. And if that was the beginning of the crime being committed, maybe he didn't have any DNA yet, or maybe he had just a super tiny amount of DNA on those gloves. As the time went on, I would believe that they would have more and more DNA that has been transferred onto their gloves, because like we just talked about, you're going to touch.
Yeah, some of these files don't show up as because they're HEIC files. Hold on. Here's a photo of one that I've done before. You guys ready? That's one that I've done before. Here's another one. Some small little rugs like this. And then here's one. So some of the stuff that I've done. I should make one of Yoshi. Some of the other ones, they're not showing up. Let me see. Let me see how I can open them. Somebody told me I should make this a rug too. I don't know. Y'all tell me though. Somebody told me I should make that a rug. Yeah, those are some of the things that I do in my free time, but you know, work's got a little bit busy, y'all. But maybe we'll make a Flojo TV one, and then we'll give one away. What y'all think? What y'all think?
Something, right? But
Or you're going to move your mask over because the holes aren't lining up for you.
Oh, here, let me show you how big the rugs actually are. So, let me see. Let me send this one. Is there a way for me to show this to you guys? Photos. Let me see. Let me put this here, and then let me share. Let me see. Sorry, we're going off the rails tonight, so whatever. It is what it is. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Where is it? They're not gonna let me. Here, this is what I can do. Sorry, y'all. 1 second. 1 second. No. Hold on. There you go. Sorry, you guys. Because I'm working off iPhone and PC, I have to convert the files. I don't want a photo. I don't want a video. I want a photo. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Bear with me. Bear with me. I don't know how this works. I have to say forget it, y'all. Hold on. Oh, Hello Kitty. Hold on. I have to show you this one that I did then. Let me see. I can actually open this one up. We've done this one before. This one's just a little. Oh, wait. Can you guys see this one? There you go. We did the little bow. Hello Kitty bowl. We've done that one before. Hold on. I want to show you guys one because Bro asked how big they are. So I'm going to show you guys how big one of them is. This one is about, I don't know, maybe like a 1x3, 1x2. I mean, this one's undone though. This one hasn't been carved at all. Let me see. Let me get I gotta get my snippet tool, y'all. Maybe this will work. Okay. All right, it's working, you guys. It's working. It's working. Hang tight. Hang tight. All right, you guys ready? I'll show you guys right now. Sorry, y'all. All right, ready? Here you go. So I did this one. This one was the first one that I sold. Oh, no way. Abraham, what's going on? David would love that one. I know, right? So we did, or I did this one, and this one was an actual real image of my cousin's girlfriend's bunny. This is tofu, right? And you want to know how big it is. So this is a life-size comparison. These are my roommates' kids when I had roommates. So this is how big that rug actually is. So this was probably like a 4x5, maybe. No, I don't know. Maybe like a 3x4. So there was this one, and then this one, just to kind of show size comparison. Yeah, this one took like 3 days to make. But these ones, this one was expensive. I'm not gonna lie. Like I ended up selling this rug. This rug right here, I sold for like $300. And this one wasn't even carved, so. I don't have the answer to that. I don't even know sometimes. Sometimes you don't even sleep. Sometimes you don't even sleep, I'm telling you. And it's not good. Y'all need to get your sleep. What else? What else? I want to show you this one really quick because this one was cool. Roommate and I worked on this one. I know some of y'all will like this, so I'll show you guys this one. This one was still on the frame. No, no, Mollywood. They are not naked. They just blend in with the rug. But yeah, that's Winnie the Pooh. And then Jordan fans, you know, if you guys are a fan of Jordan, those are some of the things that I've done. You know, make music, whatever. Anyways, back to the show.
For your eyes, so you're gonna just move it over.
Yeah, you're sweating, you
Sure.
know.
If you guys can't tell already, I don't really like talking about myself and any of the stuff I do, but so I get shy, y'all. I get real shy. Carved. Okay, so this is. I'll show you an image of a carved rug. This one's a little tiny one, but see. Hold on, let me. If you guys can see, like right here where the leaves are at, you guys can see that it's kind of contoured and shaved or carved. You can see that you can see the carving in it. So you have to use these special kind of clippers. They all look like regular clippers to use for your hair, but they have like an acrylic clips. So you can like change the size on them. So you do stuff like that. Yeah. They're kind of like patches, right? But this is all yarn. So, but then you kind of carve them down, then you put a backing on them. Yeah, there you go. Do what my 605 said. Hit that like button, y'all. All right. Well, this is probably going to end up being a members only live. So we're probably going to be off topic for the rest of this video. So type a 1 if you guys want to finish this video, this one right over here. Type 2 if you guys are good with us switching topics. Y'all let me know. You guys are going to steer and drive the show tonight because you guys have been so generous. And my Lord, I looked, we got 23 donations. You guys are crazy. 22222. 22222. All right. You guys are okay. I'll change the thumbnail later. What do y'all want to talk about tonight? What do y'all want to talk about? Let me see. Oh, that's the DT show. Make sure you guys go follow the Drunk Turkey show real quick. Let me put his link in the chat. So good friends over there at the Drunk Turkey show. We're gonna do a show soon. on the Koberger case. So, rugs and hugs. You guys want to talk about rugs? What kind of rugs? Yeah, I have all of my yarn right over here. You guys want to see what I have? Oh god, I'm gonna have to turn off my. All right, y'all. Here we go. Y'all asked for it. All right, you guys ready? So here I have a green screen. Right. Let me see. I don't know if you guys can see this. If you guys see, like, right over here, right over here, I have all of my materials to make rugs. All right, that's too much. That's too much. Too much, y'all. Too much. Hold on. Gotta fix this now. Ooh, there you go. Back to this. Maybe should we do this one? I'll do this one. Show and tell. Yeah, that's a huge balls of yarn. How do you start doing rugs? It's a good question. So everything starts with the frame. You have to have a frame for it, right? No, we're not going to talk about rugs. You guys want to talk about rugs? Y'all making me talk about myself, making me feel uncomfortable. Where do I get my yarn? I used to get my yarn at Joann's Fabric, but they went out of business. They went out of business and they are no longer around. What's my choice of rug? It's a great question. Can't say my mom's in here. My mom's watching. Which ones do I have though? Let me see. I don't know. Whatever yarns they sell at Joann's Fabric. The boss bitch says she wants a rose. Actually, do I have a photo of one of the roses that I'm finishing up? I might. Let me see. I'll show you guys one that I have finished. Let me see. I don't know if I have a photo of it. Let me see. You're making me talk about myself. How dare you guys? Ronnie, you nasty. You nasty. There you go. I finally found the right one. Aquarian, how's it going? Hold on. Let me find a photo of the rose one that I just finished. Hold on. This is definitely going to be turned into a members only live. Yeah, it got me out of my comfort zone, y'all. Let me see. Really? Y'all like these kind of lives where we just kind of hang out? Yeah, if any of you guys are members and you guys haven't joined the Discord, the Discord is popping, y'all. Mama Flo just added a game and she's been on that like 24/7. All right, let me see if I can share this really quick. Hold on. Trying to see how we can play this thing. Right. Oh no. All right, got this one. Rose. This one right over here. Can you guys see this? Oops. So this is a photo of one of the roses that I've done. This one's actually done. Right over here. But yeah, who was asking about mugs earlier? Actually, I used to have a whole crafting business too, where I used to make like tumblers and stuff. Aquarian, you were gifted a membership. Welcome to the inner circle. But yeah, this one is a monstera plant leaf, and then you have this rose right over here. But yes, Mama Flo is where I got my crafting skills from. So we can definitely make mugs, and we actually make them ourselves. So we don't like order them off of a website, put our logos on it, and then have it shipped out. We actually make them ourselves. We do that all in-house. I do all the designing. Mama Flo will do all the pressing. And yeah, shout out to all the new lurkers and the new subscribers, y'all. What's up? What's up? Mama Flo, they're asking for they're asking for the 106 tapes. Have you found them yet? Don't look for them. Don't look for them at all. What are we talking about now, you guys? This is now no longer a Nancy Guthrie update. Abraham, you do that kind of stuff too? Don't even let me get started on the mugs and stuff that we used to do. That's a whole other story. You guys want to see some of those too? Hold on. I don't know if I'll be able to show them to you because I took them on my iPhone. But we'll see. Fine. What don't you do, Abraham? What don't you do? Yep, Jad is Mama Flo. Yep, that is right. What is 106? So, 106 is actually a radio station out here in Los Angeles, KPWR Power 106. And growing up, one of the things I've always wanted to do as a... Hold on, let me fix this really quick. Oops. One of the things I've always wanted to do when I was little was I've always wanted to do radio. And so when I was 12 years old, I picked up the house phone one night and I called the radio station to win concert tickets. I called Power 106 to win concert tickets, and at the age of 12, I won my very first concert tickets from the radio station. So from then on, it was no stopping. I used to call the radio station every single day just to either be on the radio or to win gifts. You know, those prizes that they have? Oh, that's pretty dope. Abraham, you make greeting cards? Yeah, I bought my mama a Cricut one day. Then I had to buy myself one just because I wanted one too. DJ Henry and the Aquanet said, yo, damn, Hollywood. I know, right? Those were the days with the Aquanet set. But yeah, ever since the age of 12, I had this fascination of wanting to be on the radio. I wanted to be on the radio so bad. And if you guys are out here from LA and you guys know Power 106, way back in the days, there used to be a show called Tito's Top 4 at 4. Does anybody remember Tito's Top 4 at 4? Tito's Top 4 at 4 used to be a show where the backstory on Tito was he was a janitor, used to clean up the radio station, all the floors. And I know, right, Cats? You're pretty much on the radio now. But Tito used to be a janitor, used to come in and clean the radio station. And then one day they decided to hire him and make him a radio personality. So he was of Mexican descent, and he had a very strong, heavy Mexican accent. And I think that's what everybody loved about him. He was funny. He was quirky. He was just down to be himself on the radio. And yeah, he used to have this show where, he'd pick the top 4 songs that were playing on the radio, and he'd give them a crazy name. And at the end of the show, you'd have to call in and you'd have to recite the 4 songs exactly how he did it. And so it was like super hilarious. And yeah, I don't know. I've always wanted to be on the radio. Had a fascination of being on the radio for so long, since the age of 12. I'll even tell you this. I used to win so much on the radio that the radio station had to put a rule in place, right? Because I would probably win maybe like once a week for a couple of years. But it got to the point where I was winning so often that they put a rule in place where you couldn't win. You can only win once every 30 days, or once a day, once a calendar day of the month, because I was winning too much. This is the channel you never use. Hey, well, welcome to Boss Bish. Dr. Drew, he was on what, K-Rock, right? You know what? I know that my mom used to take me to the radio station to pick up the prizes, and I used to ask him, like, can I go inside the studio and hang out with you guys for a bit? So I'd take my mom to the studio with me. So that was pretty fun. What are we going to talk about now, y'all? What are we going to talk about now? Let me find this really quick. Seattle. I know the Supersonics are coming back, huh? I heard they're really close to bringing a basketball team to Seattle and back to Vegas. So Vegas is going to have one. Let's kind of transition. We'll talk about... Whoops. Let's switch over to everybody's favorite topics, y'all. I know, I love watching them too, but definitely don't have a lot of time. Rachel, what's going on? We have not talked about it, but we are going to talk about it, right? So let's go ahead and switch topics on over to our favorite topic. There's a few things to talk about, some few updates, right? So let me pull up this video really quick, because apparently in that 4th of July video that we've watched many times. Hey, Laura Butler, you're from the Seattle area? What's up, Seattle in the house? The 206, right? 206. But we have Sakura. So this is on the 4th of July video that we've seen, where she's eating tacos in the bathroom. And apparently it says here, they mentioned spiders and a car. What do you hear? This is what I heard. David discussing the car. So it says here, so as you can see, this was on Sakura's 4th of July stream at 1:43. I swore I heard them mentioning spiders and cars, and one thing about a lot of spiders is that they tend to gravitate towards dead bodies because of all the flies. I don't know how that looked. I don't know that, and looked it up. Can't even talk. And yet another coincidence. So this will end up playing out really quick. Let's listen to this video, you guys. Tell me what you guys hear. So apparently they have captions here for you guys to follow along, but I want to know what you guys hear. You need to get bug spray because there are spiders everywhere.
Be careful. Just be careful. You need to get bug spray. There's little spiders everywhere. Yeah, just cover the camera. Yeah, okay, one sec, chat. We're just leaving. We're just gonna cover the cam.
Oh, DJ Felly Fell, Mollywood Kush. You know, people used to say I used to look like Felly Fell. There have been so many times where I was mistaken as Felly Fell. Especially when I would go out to events, people thought I was Felly Fell. Let's play that again, you guys. Do you guys hear that?
Be careful. Just be careful. You need to get bug spray. There's little spiders everywhere. Oh, bro? Yeah, just cover the camera. Yeah, can you? Okay, one sec, chat. We're just leaving. We're just gonna cover the cam.
The server, I'm gonna lie, the server is also really awesome.
Yeah, chat.
What'd you guys hear? Sus? Cassier says it's sus. You guys think that they're talking about the car? What else happened? What else happened? You know what was crazy too is that we were just kind of digging around, just browsing the internet, and we realized too that the brother of David, Caleb Burke, is no longer following his own brother on Instagram. So as you guys can see here, Caleb is no longer following David. Caleb is David's brother, for those of you who don't know. Do you think the family now knows something that we don't and are cutting all ties with him? This is so weird and honestly not something I expected would ever happen from his brother of all people. Apparently some of the people they think that he had to testify and thought it wasn't worth the legal battle because the LAPD could lock down his testimony to form their timeline. But I think if he folded that easy while his parents tried to fight the summoning order tooth and nail, it honestly raises some questions for me at least. If he knew for sure that David is innocent, wouldn't he fight it too to try to protect his brother who's a star and gives them a really easy life? The fact that he did testify, if he did, because we're speaking hypotheticals here, tell me that he has some knowledge. He knows David is involved in one way or another, is what I believe. Do you guys think this is a nothing burger? I know, and then I rock flirting back with a Nightbot. That's cool. That's cool. How does that family let David live with them? Well, that's a topic of debate, right? Where is David now? Is David even here with his family, or is David back in Texas, or is he home? How do they sleep? Wake up missing a finger. Yikes. I wouldn't give it too much thought, says the secret shade. It might be a nothing burger. It might be something big, right? But what we do know is that David Anthony Burke celebrated his 21st birthday yesterday, turned 21, while we know that Celeste is no longer alive and he is still free. Katsier says, I don't know how paparazzi haven't gotten his location. Like, it's going to be worth a lot of money. I have some ideas. But I can't talk about it right now. The boss bitch says he's in LA, in my opinion. You think he's in LA? What do you think he's doing out here in LA? I mean, if he's in LA, where is he, right? Because that's right, Ronan. Celeste Rivas Hernandez never made it to 15. Damn, I can't send any of those. They still hope that he can go back and make money unless they think he can escape prison. Then they give up on him, but still should have a lot of money. So I think his family is still supporting him. Or is he supporting his family? He's hiding in the bunkers. Where is SF? It's a great question. SF, where are you? Let me see. Did he put anything out? Because normally he has something to say on special occasions like this. Hold on, I just seen a photo. No. Wow. SF has not tweeted anything for 6 days, you guys. He hasn't even responded to anybody on X for 6 days. Drank the blood. You think he really did that, Molly? Drank the blood? Maybe he's deep in the woods somewhere searching for someone. He could be. Tennessee. His buddies also pretended to not follow him anymore, and that one guy he made a song with distanced himself from him. That's all show. Let's see. We have, I think Asia is out in Brazil. Hold on. Let me turn the volume down. I do not know how to use TikTok. I think he did. I think he was in Arizona the last time I checked. We have our friend Asia Collins is out in Brazil. No op in sight. I don't know what that means, but she says she got no op in sight. I just wanted a cute vid of my hotel room and instead almost broke my head open. All right, hit her head on the cherries. So Asia's out in Brazil having the time of her life. Chai. Y'all enjoying this view of Asia Collins? Yikes. She's getting ready. Meh. Cat's here said meh. Somebody asked her where she got her skirt from, and she said it's a top that she got from Ross, I think. Where'd you get the skirt from? It's a top I got from Ross. Don't ask me how I know that. Rio de Janeiro shopping hall. Y'all still here? Y'all still with me? Type of one in the chat if you guys are still with me. Okay, I see a few ones. Okay, okay. What is taking this case so long that we have to sit and wait for? Oh, this is so pretty. Poor little girl.
I'm ready. I mean, David's killing it. Oh no, David, by now.
Yeah, I'm coming to it.
I'm ready. I mean, David's killing it. Oh no, I didn't mean to say it like. Yeah, sorry.
You did that shit on purpose.
No, that was terrible timing. And no, I'm sorry, bro. Like, this is David by now.
Yeah, I'm coming to it.
I'm ready. I mean, David's killing it. Oh no, I didn't mean to say it like. Yeah, sorry.
You did that shit on purpose.
No, that was terrible timing. And no, I'm sorry, bro.
No, we're not gonna play his music. These are the all-known Celeste Rivas Hernandez voice clips. Let's go.
I got a question.
What's the question?
Why don't you hold my hands anymore?
Oh, here we go
There you
again.
go. That's his name. And then I rock KSI. For some reason, I couldn't think of his name. I was thinking like IRL or some KSI, one of the owners of Prime Energy. Prime, is it Energy? Prime, the athletic drink.
Bro,
Nah, I'm so serious.
bro,
I'm so serious. Like,
all right, continue.
I haven't held your hand.
And
Like, dude, shut up.
Sorry.
Like, you're
My
not
fault,
funny. I swear you're not
my
funny.
fault. I'm done.
Let me think.
About it. So the timing.
It could have been yesterday. Yo. It could have
Okay,
been yesterday.
Wow, yeah. I'm glad you remember that. I'm glad.
Period.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I hate when you say period, man. All right. I got a question for you now.
Okay.
Why do you think we met? Yeah. Why do you think we met?
Well, I think personally, have you ever heard of the invisible strength theory?
It's controversial of raping kids.
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Oh yeah.
Exactly that. So basically, we met because we were supposed to meet.
Okay.
And we're connected because we're supposed to be connected. It's kind of like that. I loved you before I existed, and I love you even when I die.
Yes. You're the one calling my phone. Bye. Calling me. Go away.
You calling me? Why call me? Call me and say you're sorry. I didn't even want to go and change the narrative and say something completely different. You gotta figure whatever you got going on. Figure that out.
Let me talk. No, you ain't gonna let me talk. Why you tripping? No, you ain't gonna let me talk. Why you not gonna let me talk? You tripping? Nah, you tripping. How about you ain't tripping? You gonna let a woman talk? Bro, I'm not gonna let your woman talk. You ain't even how.
Hey, bro.
You talking?
You talking like a black girl with your black talking.
No.
Yeah. I said we're not black over here.
I'm not Mexican. Stop the door and you tripping.
I've been so selfish and I can't stop thinking about you and what I did and how it's affecting like everything.
Like, child, you're special, David.
I just wanted to say I'm sorry.
It's controversial of raping kids.
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Okay.
But yeah, like it's weird, it's strange, it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
So don't leave me.
No, you got it.
Okay.
You got it.
All right. I love you. I love you.
Allegedly.
Just kidding. I was saying that all of those voices that you hear in that video, thank you guys. All of those voices that you hear in that video, in my opinion, I believe are Celeste. So, I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong, but my thought is that it's Celeste, but only
Allegedly.
right. So I obviously I can't confirm, but that's 3 minutes of Celeste. How many of you guys think that all of those clips are actually her? Because I think they actually are her. There's been a lot of comparisons before, but she definitely sounds like that. Rona says, bet they are. Cat's ear, I think they were her. My 605. Do you have a different name to go by? Or do we just call you 605? You say, not the same girl. Rachel probably are. The boss says, I think they're her. Which I'm curious which parts you think are not her.
About it, so the timing.
It could have been yesterday. So
Okay, yesterday. Wow, yeah. I'm glad you remember that. I'm glad.
Period.
Ew, I hate when you say period, Rez. All right. I got a question for you now.
Okay.
Why do you think we met? Yeah. Why do you think we met?
What I think personally, have you ever heard of the invisible strength theory?
It's controversial of raping kids.
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Oh yeah.
Heather. Okay, your name's Heather. We can remember that. That'll be easy. All right. We won't forget that. So we'll make sure. I know, right? That's exactly my question every time I see her name. Do you live by that freeway?
Yeah.
Exactly that. So basically, we met because we were supposed to meet.
Okay.
And we're connected because.
And then also one thing that you guys have to keep in mind too is that, whoever put this video together probably had to do some editing and add some effects or layers. So then that way they can normalize her voice, because they probably pulled those clips from songs that actually had like music behind them.
We're supposed to be connected. It's kind of like that I loved you before I existed and I love you even when I die.
Yes. You're the one calling my phone. Bye. Calling me. Go away.
You calling me? Why call me? Call me and say you're sorry. I didn't want to go and change the narrative and say something completely different. You gotta figure whatever you got going on. Figure that out.
Let me talk. No, you ain't gonna let me talk. Why you tripping? No, you ain't gonna let me talk. Why you not gonna let me talk? You tripping? Nah, you tripping. I bet you ain't tripping. You gonna let a woman talk? I'm not gonna let your woman talk. You know how you ain't even how.
Hey, bro.
You talking?
You talking like a black girl with your black talkie.
No.
Yeah. I said we're not black over here.
I'm not Mexican. All the door and you tripping.
I've been so selfish and I can't stop thinking about you and what I did and how it's affecting like everything.
What child? You're special, David.
I just wanted to say I'm sorry.
It's controversial of raping kids.
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Word. Okay.
But yeah, it's weird, it's strange, it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
So don't leave me.
You got it.
Okay.
You got it.
That's crazy right there, where she says, don't leave me. And he says, you got it.
Word. Okay.
But yeah, it's weird, it's strange, it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
So don't leave me.
You got it.
Okay.
You got it.
All right. I love you.
That's crazy, because in all the parts that we've heard, she says, I love you. She repeats it again and says, I love you. But if there was a video or sound clip of him saying it, we don't hear it anywhere else.
don't leave me.
No, you
Please.
got it. You
Okay.
got it. You got it.
All right. All right. I love you. I love you.
This part right over here. Let me see. Where is it at?
Special, David. What shot? You're special, David.
That one for sure definitely sounds like it. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Because he doesn't say it back, or at least publicly he doesn't, right? Yep. That's the part. But I wonder if there's an actual clip where he actually says it back.
I just wanted to say I'm sorry.
So this was in a song by David called You Left Me First. Song was released April 25th, 2025.
It's controversial of raping kids.
Good,
Okay,
it's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
How's the last? Word. Okay.
But yeah, like it's weird, it's strange, it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
So don't leave me.
No, you
Please.
got it.
Okay.
You got it. You got it.
All right. All right.
No idea who the actual girl is that's playing the role in the music video. I don't know. Maybe somebody can screenshot that and do a reverse lookup. I don't know. That I don't know. Facebook pic. Oh wait, hold on. This is that's a marker. Whatever that is. Let's see. Is there anything else?
Like this is David by now.
Yeah, I'm coming to it.
Daily reminder for David in case his birthday made him feel special. Boo, you're a fucking loser. And so are the people who are still your fans. That's funny. What is this? What tries to keep you alive fails. No, I don't want to hear him. That's crazy that this is even a question. Did Celeste cheat on David? Possible motive part 2. Secret Shade says, I feel like he claimed her more in the beginning, but then the more known he got, he started to distance himself, probably really started to realize that he can never separate. She could destroy his reputation. Yeah, I think that's probably what was happening, right? Her being the little firecracker that she was definitely not feeling it. And probably threatened him a few times. I do think that's possible. I definitely think that's possible. Oh, Heather's out there in Miami Beach. Must be nice. How's the weather out there in Miami? How is the weather out of Miami? God, look at these little kids. And he posted this video. Where? Wow, you guys, can you see this? Lollapalooza in Brazil for 2026. David has been confirmed as right there in the middle. It's hot out there. Hot, hot, hot. That's crazy. You guys going to Lollapalooza in Brazil? Yusuke, Yukimatsu, David, Two Hollis. That is crazy. He's when is Lollapalooza in Brazil? Oh, Lollapalooza would have already taken place, right? March 20. March 20th, 21st, and 22nd. I'm curious if there's any video of that then. Hold on. Let me see. Let's take a look. I wish I understood. I understand Portuguese. Tyler, the Creator, was there. Yeah, so you must have canceled. Oh shit. That's crazy. You know what? Yo, that totally makes sense now, Secret Shade, that Asia's trip to Brazil was probably also another dig at David for her being able to go and he wasn't able to make it. That's crazy. Is Asia with him? Good question. I don't know. I know now that Asia now has a boyfriend, if I'm not mistaken. As you can see in this video right over here, looks like that might be her boyfriend. Looks like her boyfriend. Where's that photo? She posted a photo. There goes that leopard jacket. There you go. There's the photo. Skrillex. Skrillex is dope. He grew up in my neighborhood. You know what, Mollywood? I don't know if he's restricted though. I feel like he can still leave whenever he wants. Maybe he's been advised though, but still, I feel like I don't know. I know. Me too, Cindy. Me too. Me too. I think we're gonna call it right here, you guys. But that's some good food for thought, you guys. Lollapalooza took place in Brazil, March 20, 21st, 22nd. And here we have Asia. I don't know if she's currently there, but Asia took a trip to Brazil. So was this another dig at David? Knowing that she can freely go and he can't? Oh, the merch drop, the merch drop, the merch drop. Fine, fine, fine. Let's talk about the merch drop. Oh, I thought this was funny. Hold on. Let me share this. This was funny. I seen this on Reddit today. There's a girl. They asked this other girl if it's her birthday. Y'all just gotta listen to this.
Oh, it's your birthday?
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Bitch, fuck your birthday. Oh, it's your birthday?
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Bitch, fuck your birthday.
I wonder if that happened to David.
Oh, it's your birthday?
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Bitch, fuck your birthday.
Damn. Just really going in on her balloons. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can find it. What is this? Missing 14-year-old girl is found dead, and police believe there is no threat to the public. Damn. Anybody know what thread it was in? Hold on, I think I know where to find it. I think it's in the Discord. Here we go. So in case any of you guys have been wondering, David is now having a merch drop, and it takes place in about 17 days, you guys. As you guys can see here, David has a website called david-shop.fourthwall.com, and he's got a drop taking place in 17 days. He's got a Discord. I don't know if that's still up. Explore the David Closet. He's got a David shirt. On the back says backstage. Sweater that also says the same thing. Withered poster. David backstage. I guess it's a notebook. But I know the Discord is open, but is it, what is it? It's David backstage. What does it say? Support the server. Oh, David backstage. Thank you, Heather. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for rocking with us. Does he really? Might be polygamous? Guy's tripping. I don't know if he's ever done it. I don't think he has. I don't think so. But yeah, oh, I guess he's got different colored shirts. Blue, red. That's crazy. That's pretty whack. So who's buying some David merch, y'all? You guys buying it? Who's buying it? That's crazy. Let's see what videos. Nope. I don't want to see it. Don't care. Step into David's world. Some people become memories before we're ready to let them go. Are you for reals? Yikes. $15 a month. Well, if anybody wants to support him, y'all can go figure this out. When does this drop? This drops in 17 days, 8 hours, 25 minutes, and 12 seconds. So you guys got time if anybody wants to go support him. But if you guys are going to go support him, please make sure you unfollow me. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, right? Obsidian, he can still travel because he's not he hasn't been locked up, but this guy, I can't believe this. Obsidian, I'm gonna send this to you in case you need it. All right, Obsidian, I sent it to you on the Discord just in case you need it for later. Yeah, well, I mean, one thing's for sure is he didn't perform at Lollapalooza, so that's one show he missed. That's a big show to miss too. I mean, if it's not him, if this is not him, like behind it, this is very weird. Somebody profiting off him, right? I just think it's honestly weird. I'm curious, like, who's joined his server too. I might just. There's no way that I could join. People in his low-key Discord already know who I am. They were sharing my videos in their secret chat. Hold on really quick. Let me check this out. Hold on. So you're with the person you love at a David show. Okay, so this was the boss bitch sent this to me. In that Discord, everyone was just calling him a schmurder. No way. Gotta send screenshots. That's crazy though. I don't know if this is Lollapalooza, but it says goals. Hold on, let me take this off. It says goals, David, Lollapalooza, blah, 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 blah. So makes me wonder, did he go with Asia? It's a good little question. Asia's out there in Brazil. David was supposed to be out there. That's funny because I don't know if you guys remember, there was a video, or not a video, but a photo that Asia posted. Asia posted a photo of her in Oslo, Norway, which I'll bring this up really quick. Asia, Oslo, Norway. I don't know if you guys remember this photo right over here, right? But this one was a photo that Asia posted as she was in Oslo, Norway. I don't know if you guys remember. Let me find it really quick. Let me see if this will fit. I forget when this was posted too, but this was posted 4 months ago. When was that? And then if you guys remember here, David's first leg, his first stop on his European leg of the tour was in Oslo, Norway. So maybe. Yep. Yeah, that already happened. So we don't know if he performed there or not. I don't know. I'm curious. Did Neo make it out to Brazil? Did Neo make his way out there? Oh no. I gotta check that out. I definitely gotta check that out. Should we just watch that really quick? Boarding her one-way flight. Nah, they're definitely not hanging out. Did we really reach that many followers on Twitch? What? That's crazy. Shout out to the supporters on Twitch. I don't even know how to use that app. I'm not sure how that platform works. Yeah, no, we definitely would have heard. But you know what's funny though is that SF has not mentioned anything in the past 6 days. Oh my god, did she really? I have a law and crime video pulled up. Should we just watch that really quick and then we'll call it a night? Just because you said we should watch it, I have it pulled up. Here, actually, Court TV has a 10-minute one, which we can watch. I think that one would be better. Let's watch it.
Donna Adelson was turning now to the murder of Dan Markell. Newly released body cam video shows the moment Donna Adelson was arrested in the Miami airport in November. Now, she and her husband were trying to board a flight to Vietnam.
Hi, how are you? You have my ID? I don't want to give it to you. Why do I have to give it? Why do I have to give it to you? This is evidence. She's under arrest. I have to go with. I have to go. I have to go. You don't have no choice. I will help you. No, I have to stay. Please don't. Yeah, you need to wait outside. Okay.
My husband's almost 80 years old. He can't.
Yeah, I can't. Please, can I? No, I can't do it. Oh, don't do this, please.
Please.
Oh,
Someone's got to help him get home. It's terrible.
So, quick recap. Donna Adelson, 76-year-old matriarch of prominent South Florida family, was convicted in September 2025 for her role in the 2014 murder for hire of her former son-in-law, FSU law professor Dan Markle.
Please, give it that we can for some respect on everyone. Please. Do you have anything in your pocket?
No. Do you have anything of value in you?
No, I still have my necklace on.
You can take it off. Yeah, take it off. And the earrings, the rings, take everything. You give it to your husband. Because once you arrive at County Yale, they're gonna make you remove all that.
Can I call my attorney?
You got a passport ready?
Where am I going?
Just open anything.
Where am I going?
You're going to the Dade County Jail.
Dade County Yale. No, it's right here, the 125.
Wait 1 second, please. Please. Okay. Do you have any other rings on?
That Drewski video, though, took me out. You guys see that video? Drewski is a fool. He's crazy.
I'm sorry, remove your earrings.
1 minute.
You take it right through. Yeah, let's go back out and you're making a mistake. No mistake. It's two mistakes. Can you take it off, please, Don? I don't want to hurt her. Please.
Just a minute, it's good. Listen to me.
Yeah. I'll call.
Yeah, can you Uber, go home.
I will.
Take
I will.
it easy,
I will.
all right?
Yes.
Sure.
If there's anything else in her person that she wants.
Oh, well, it's coming, sweetheart. It's coming. Just a
All right.
second.
Do you have her driver's license?
I'm sorry?
Her driver's
It's in my,
You're going to the Ritz, ma'am.
Yeah.
it's in my purse.
Yeah.
Sure. Do you need her
It's almost there.
passport? Or can I give it to the husband? The passport can I give it to
What's wrong?
It's
It's in the blue and white, it's in the blue and white,
I'm gonna get her driver's license. Yeah.
And the license, the address on your license is correct?
yes.
She needs all her, Once she goes to the jail,
They're all in here though.
Yes, they work. If I take them here, what will happen is when you go there, they toss them out. So when you go to there, you will meet the nurse and the doctor, and then they'll work in conjunction with the hospital to get you whatever you need.
Yeah, but I don't have a list with me, I know what I
Yes.
I have a,
Is it multiple or is just one or two?
there's a bag of medication in here. Is that what you're asking me?
No, I know. I was just trying to find out if it's like one or two. Yeah. Well, one or two, then she maybe could take the name down.
Do you need anything else from her?
Can I ask you something? Can someone just get my husband outside? And
I'll get him. There's a gentleman here with a system and elevator.
I have the ring, hold on.
Let me help him. Please. No.
Okay.
All right, so no, so we don't have the meds, honey, they're all in there.
Wow, Adelson was taken into custody only a week after her son Charlie was convicted of hiring hitmen to kill his former brother-in-law, Dan Markell. Donna faces the same charges as her son, first-degree murder and solicitation of murder. Dan Markell, a law professor at Florida State University, was gunned down while pulling into his garage. Now, at the time of his death, he was in a bitter custody battle with his ex-wife, Wendy Adelson, Donna's daughter. And Donna is, as I said, her daughter and Charlie's sister as well. All right, still with us to discuss criminal defense and civil attorney Jesse Law and criminal defense attorney Eklund Mercy. And Jesse, I'll start with you. Got to get your reaction to the video. What jumps out at me is, I mean, it's that moment, you know, she's pretty calm, very worried about her husband, Harvey. But it's that moment you realize your life really is about to change. Start realizing that things are being taken from you, your phone, which just about everyone is their lifeline, her medications. I mean, things are going to change and get very serious.
I've spoken to clients who've been arrested, and there are many descriptions. You feel like your life is wiped out. You feel like you're floating aimlessly. You feel like you have no control over anything. Everything that you ever assumed in your life that you had control, that you can predict, that you have access to, is all wiped out. It's gone from you. And suddenly someone has got you in handcuffs and is carting you away. It's like literally going to take you from one planet and put you in another. And it's a very, very unsettling event for any individual. And for Donna Adelson, in that particular situation, with the wealth and privilege that she's accustomed to, and now suddenly being put in a completely different position that she's never been in, that it must be extremely uncomfortable for her.
Yeah, you can tell there's a discomfort, but I also think, Eklund, there was a sense of inevitability with her. Yeah. She certainly didn't seem to be panicking. She seemed to be very worried about Harvey. As I said, she had to know it was coming. The whole point she was at the airport was she was trying to get away from this happening. And the only reason that the cops were at the airport was because she was having jail phone conversations that obviously the authorities were listening to, talking about possibly running away.
Yeah, I think she really overestimated her wealth. I think that if she was going to try to escape, the moment her son was indicted was her time to go to Vietnam. I think that her trying to support her son in the conviction, like how much privilege do you have, like, to support your son? Like it's immediately after the conviction, you take yourself to Vietnam, but she stayed for a week and got her life together before, like for a trip. She was ready for like a vacation. I think that she overestimated her wealth. I think she underestimated the prosecution, meaning that she thought because of how long it took to indict, that she wouldn't get caught, and she did.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah.
Yeah, you're right. The time, I think, certainly gave her this sense of calm. But I can tell you what, Jesse, watching the trial of her son, Charlie, the one thing I came away with was, God, where's Donna? Donna needed to be a co-conspirator in that trial. I mean, her name came up as much or more than Charlie's.
I absolutely agree with you. Throughout the trial, remember those fancy charts that the prosecutor had up there, and Donna's name was clearly linked to where was the money coming from and how was all this being funded and who was helping this whole conspiracy go through, so that so the killers were paid to do that heinous crime. And for her just to disassociate from that whole trial and then think of the entire appearance, getting a one-way ticket to travel halfway across the world. I mean, talk about trying to run away from the inevitable. This was clearly very bad judgment on the matriarch of the Adelson family.
Yeah, exactly. And a one-way ticket to a place that necessarily doesn't have an extradition treaty with the U.S. Surprise, surprise. Eklund Mercy, is there a scenario, because I'm having a hard time envisioning it, where Wendy isn't next? I think Harvey might be in the clear. Didn't hear a lot of his name, but Wendy, she's the one who seemed to benefit from all this. Again, she's another one that I didn't hear a lot about. Is there any scenario where she doesn't end up being charged here?
Nope.
My theory is that the prosecution is going about it by income. I really do.
Oh, wow.
I think that they're going by income, and I think that depending on who has more who has less will be next. And you can see basically, if we were to have a fair market value, gross income on all those pictures on those charts, we will see how they were prosecuted. And I don't think the rest will be different.
Wow.
All right, you guys. So before I go, you guys asked to see one last video, and this video here has sparked outrage amongst certain community. So here I'm going to let you guys see this entire video, and you guys can share your thoughts down in the chat. So this is a video by Drewski, Mr. Controversy himself. It's called what is it called? How Conservative Women in America Act. Without further ado, you guys, here's the video.
Get on your feet,
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
how about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the.
Okay, I don't want to play the music.
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. And we are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible. Sweet cream foam chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic pup cup.
organic.
Yes, everything organic.
Three, 7. Oh, Hannah, you good? 4, 3, 2. Hold your chest lifted. We're gonna lift.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes, because they are the ones who mattered most.
Get on your feet.
Oh my Lord. What has he gotten into, you guys? That Drewsy's a fool, yo. Not gonna lie, but that shit made me laugh. That shit was funny. All right, y'all. That's gonna be it for me tonight. That's 2 hours and 37 minutes that we all spent together. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Thank you to everybody who supported the channel. My Lord. I think this is a show sponsored by The Boss Bish. Ronan, The Boss Bish. Teresa became a member. Boss Bish. Crazy. Dropping honey buns tonight. $100 donation. Dear Lord, The Boss Bitch. David is way guilty. Obsidian for your $6.99. Teresa for your $5 super chat. The Boss Bitch for another $50. Gold Digger gifted 3 memberships. Thank you so much, Gold Digger. I appreciate you. Boss Bitch gifted 5.25 memberships, another $5 super chat, another $5 super chat. Miss Dizzle, we miss you, Miss Dizzle. $5 super chat, and Ronan, who finished off our goal for tonight. So again, Ronan, thank you. And you guys got to let me know, what kind of merch do you guys want? Because you guys are asking for it, so we have to deliver. This is going to be a project that I'm going to have to do all in-house, because I can't afford to have them third-party those third-party things making it. But y'all let me know what kind of merch you guys want, and we'll put something together, you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight. I do appreciate everybody who tuned in. We'll be back again. When are we coming back? When are we going to be back? Tomorrow? Tomorrow's Monday. So We'll probably be back. We'll be back. We got to start doing more lives, you guys. Start covering stuff. I'll talk to Dan and figure out when we're going to do the next show. We're going to talk about the Kohlberger case. Since I spent this entire weekend doing my research. Bracelets, mugs. Oh, the mugs are going to be easy. For sure. For sure. Definitely. All right. Maybe do some sweaters, some t-shirts. Y'all got to let me know what y'all want to say on them too. I don't just want to do a Lojo TV. But we'll do them. All right, you guys, that's going to be it for me tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow. Love you guys. Peace.